Good evening. I call this May 19th meeting of the Paducah Planning and Zoning Commission to order, and I ask all of you to please stand and recite with us the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Summer, will you call the roll, please?
Benberry, Mr. Morrison,
Here.
Ms. Shramke,
Here.
Mr. Shadle,
Here.
Mr. Wade,
Here.
Chair Cresilius.
Here. Mr. Shadle, you have the minutes motion?
Yes. I move that the reading of the minutes for May 5th, 2014 be waived, and the minutes of said meeting as prepared by the Secretary be approved as written.
Second.
Second by Morrison. Are there any corrections, additions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Shadle,
Aye.
Mr. Wade,
Aye.
Mr. Morrison,
Aye.
Ms. Shramke,
Aye.
Chair Cresilius.
Aye. Ms. Schramke, I believe you have the first item of business.
I do. I move that this commission remove from the table the application of John Halinka for the proposed revocation of the condominium plat as recorded in Miscellaneous Plat Book 1, I, pages 82-85, for property located at 331 North 8th Street.
Second.
Second by Wade.
I'd like
Is anyone
to
here
add a little bit more information to that. We've not received that written request from them yet. We think them and Mr. Halinka and his engineer are still working that out, so we'd request that remain tabled at this time, please.
Well, I suppose we need to return it to the table then.
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll need a motion to do that then. Someone like to make a motion that we table this for,
Act on our current motion.
that's right. Have we not voted on that yet?
Oh, you can just vote nay.
Okay, well, that'll be fine then. Does that work for all of you? Okay. Then call the roll, please.
Okay. Ms. Shramke,
Aye. What am I doing? Tell me again.
We're going to leave it on the table, so a nay vote leaves it on the table.
Oh, nay vote leaves it on the table. Okay. Thank you for explaining that to me. Nay.
Mr. Shadle,
Nay.
Mr. Wade,
Nay.
Mr. Morrison,
Nay.
Chair Cresilius.
Nay. All right, moving right along to new business. Mr. Morrison, do you have the public hearing?
Yes. I move that a resolution entitled, "A Resolution Constituting the Final Report of the Paducah Planning Commission on the Proposed Zoning Change from R1, Low Density Residential Zone, to HBD Highway Business District for property located at 3025 Olivet Church Road and adjacent Olivet Church Road right-of-way be adopted."
Second by Schramke.
I'd like to introduce Greg Stewart with Martin and Bailey. He's a representative. If anyone has any questions, he can answer them for us.
I guess my question would be, we're not just rezoning your property, we're also including in this the Olivet Church Road right-of-way?
Correct.
Yes, that's been in the annexation portion of it also.
Is there anyone that has a question you'd like to ask? To explain to the people at home, this is for an annexation request. Anytime property comes into the city of Paducah, it comes in as an R1, and then a request has to be placed before the Planning and Zoning Commission for it to be rezoned to a zoning allocation that is more appropriate for the property. And because this property is already developed as a commercial property, they are requesting that it be rezoned as Highway Business District.
Correct.
Is there anyone else that would like to ask a question that has any comment? Why don't you come up and ask right here, that'd be great. Thank you very much.
I've got a question. I'm Bob Pirtle. I'm one of the residents out there close to this, where the Hucks is located. I was just asking, will this be in the city now? Is it not already in the city?
Mr. Chris, you want me to
Yes,
pull
please.
that? Thanks, sir. There will be a reading of an ordinance for annexation by the Paducah City Commission. That's either going to be tomorrow night at the City Commission meeting or the next Tuesday, 2 weeks from that Tuesday. There's been an intent to annex ordinance approved, and that's where this request stemmed from, that they would like to be in the city. But the official annexation ordinance will come either tomorrow night at the City Commission or 2 weeks from then.
Okay. Okay, thank you. That's all I need.
Thank you. With any other questions or comments? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Morrison,
Aye.
Ms. Schramke,
Aye.
Mr. Shadle,
Aye.
Mr. Wade,
Aye.
and Chair Cresilius.
Aye. Mr. Wade, you have the Bible Baptist Church.
Madam Chairwoman, I move that a resolution entitled, "A Resolution Constituting the Final Report of the Paducah Planning Commission on the Proposed Amendment to a Development Plan for Property Located at 4777 Alton Barkley Drive," be adopted.
Second.
Second by Shadle.
Hi, I'm Paul King. I'm the project architect with Peck Flannery Grimoire. I'm just here tonight to answer any questions that you may have about the proposed expansion. Essentially, the church is just looking to add a children's wing on that end closest to Pecan Drive.
And I believe that you already have more than enough parking spaces that are
Yes.
required for this addition.
Yeah, actually, we'll end up adding green space with what is now all impervious surface, so
That's good.
kind of goes backwards.
They're going to be way over on parking. They only need 400 and they're going to have over 1,000, so they're well within parking.
How is that
So
determined?
they're only going to need 400. They'll need the 1,000.
Yeah.
It's in the ordinance by square footage.
The square footage? But I was asking how it was
One per 3
determined.
seats.
One per three.
Does anyone
Thank
have any
you.
questions? Any other questions, comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Wade,
Aye.
Mr. Morrison,
Aye.
Ms. Schramke,
Aye.
Mr. Shadle,
Aye.
Chair Cresilius.
Aye. Mr. Shadle, you have the Lourdes Hospital.
I move that a resolution entitled, "A Resolution Constituting the Final Report of the Paducah Planning Commission on the Proposed Amendment to a Development Plan for Property Located at 1530 Lone Oak Road," be adopted.
Second.
Second by Morrison. Is anyone here representing them?
I do not see the engineer on the project, but basically this is for the Ray and Kay Eckstein Hospice Center for Lourdes. They're adding 10 beds for that and another 5 to the emergency room, and they're going to be tearing out the behavioral health wing and replacing it with that. Because it's in a planned unit development, requires planning commission approval.
Does anyone have any questions?
Is this the current space?
Yes, this is what they're going to be demolishing. This is the behavioral health wing that they're going to be demolishing.
If you flip over to the next page, you'll see where I think the new entrance to the emergency room will be, won't it? They're
Yeah,
trying to
it'll be right
change
there.
their traffic
See
flow
where the
there.
helipad was going to be moved to. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, this is that parking lot right outside the emergency room now.
Gotcha.
I'd like to see that the parking spaces will be 10 by 18 rather than 9 by 18.
They're upgrading the emergency room parking lot to the 10 by 18, and they're currently 9 by 18.
That's great. Any other questions or comments? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Shadle?
Aye.
Mr. Wade?
Aye.
Mr. Morrison?
Aye.
Ms. Shramky?
Aye.
Chair Crecilius?
Aye. Ms. Shramke, you have the waiver of parking requirement.
Do. I move that this commission receive and file the application of Mark Edwards for approval to waive 8 parking spaces at 222 Walter Duchan Boulevard pursuant to Section 126-71B2 of the Paducah zoning ordinance. I further move that this commission find the waiver of 8 parking stalls shall have no negative impact on the property, and the addition to the building is for a conference room and will not result in adding employees to the business, and that the Planning Commission has approval to waive the parking requirements at 222 Walter Duchan Boulevard. I further move this application be approved.
Second.
Second by Shadle.
Just a quick introduction to this. This is just simple conference room addition. They just need more space in their building. Their site is almost totally built out now. It was approved in 1978 with 10 spaces. And since there's not going to be any more employees added to the business, then we feel they can remain with the 10 spaces.
Do you know how many employees they have now?
2, I believe. There's 2 attorneys in there now.
But I'm guessing they probably have some other support.
They may, but I'm not sure.
Is there on-street parking?
No, this is
Available
the short answer is yes, but we don't count that.
Well, I'm just
So-
asking for a point of reference.
Yes.
Any other questions? Call the roll,
Well-
please. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just assure me, the statement there won't be adding any employees, I find that to be unusual, because who knows if your company is going to grow and if you're going to add employees.
This request is based out of an expansion of the physical building, not because they're adding anybody to work there.
It's not parking. They've got enough parking.
So there's no parking in the property that's being converted, so they're not losing any spaces,
Right.
but they are,
They're gaining square footage, but they're not.
potentially could add staff at some point in the future, but we have no control over that.
Right.
If they had added this for general purpose, didn't tell us what it was, would they have to add parking? Is there something with 445 more square feet that would require that?
Is we knew that was an office use, and office use requires 4.5 per 1,000.
Okay.
We took that entire building calculation and determined they would need 18 spaces. Just, that's based off the use of the building as an office, is where that come from.
Okay.
So if the building's use would change,
Then parking could change,
parking would change.
potentially, yeah.
So really what they're asking us to do is to grandfather in the fact that they have 10 parking spaces and to, in effect, by grandfathering, ignore that while allowing them to construct this addition.
We'll waive the requirement for the
Right.
addition.
Yeah.
Because based on the zoning ordinance, they're required to have 18, but
But we're going to grandfather their current number of spots in.
if y'all move that way. Because currently, they've got enough parking for their employees and the people that work there now. And this is just, like I say, in addition to the conference room, so that they have more space within the physical building.
Well, before they do this addition, they're going to have roughly, 3,500 square feet? So shouldn't they have 13 or 14 spaces?
Technically, yes, but the site plan was approved in 1978, so that was,
So they're grandfathered in for that number.
yes.
Right.
Yeah, you're correct. And so this is to also make up for actions 36 years ago.
We're expanding that, what I keep calling the grandfather, say, if 13, or using that number, if that's okay, 18 is okay, we'll let you go with 10.
Well, and the parking requirements could have changed.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So-
Yes.
Questions? More comments? Call the roll, please.
Ms. Shramky,
Aye.
Mr. Shadle.
Aye.
Mr. Wade,
Aye.
Mr. Morrison,
Aye.
Chair Cresces.
Aye. Is there any more business to come before the commission tonight? If not, we stand adjourned.